Hello there, this is Alex, and as you can probably see, I moved. And not only I moved to different apartment or different city, I moved to a different country. I actually moved back to Mexico after 3.5 years in Chile. And I'll explain why in a future video actually. But in the meantime, even before I moved, I recorded a couple of videos and that I couldn't post before, and the following is one of those, in which I explain my mobile workflow, and I hope really helps. It really helps, and I hope you enjoy it. In the meantime, well, of course, you're welcome to subscribe to my channel or visit my website imageweekly.com. See you. Hello everyone, my name is Alex Silva. You're watching Image Weekly, and today I wanted to talk a bit more about how I'm, well, in essence, recovering from the theft of my gear and things like that. However, in my last video I mentioned, how I'm using, well, my trusty old, well, not so old, my trusty Canon M3 from Canon's mirrorless system, which works great with its kit lens, which is surprisingly good and sharp, but well, it does have the limitations of a kit lens. And the camera itself has been working great. In my last video I mentioned a few of the limitations. For example, it has only one card slot, and that's not quite my best option, you would say, but it works. And however, I received a couple of questions about how I'm using or what I'm using in terms of post-processing, and I mentioned how I'm using an iPad. Well, my previous iPad, it was an iPad mini. It was stolen, so when I realized, hey, I need to produce content and everything, I realized, well, I need something kind of powerful, but I used to use a computer for this, but I didn't have the money to, or I couldn't spend the money right away in order to replace my computer, and so I decided to go with an iPad Pro, with the 9.7-inch iPad Pro, and it's pretty simple if you think about it. It's super simple. I got I shoot the photographs with my camera, then you remove the card, and well, okay, the iPad does not have an SD slot, but I did have from my previous workflow a card reader. So yeah, you connect to get the card on the reader, which has a USB port. We still have a problem here. However, Apple sells something called the Camera Connect Kit for iPad, and they've had these previous versions. One has an SD card slot, another has the USB port, and their newest version, which is not super new, but it was new for me at least, has USB 3 and a power connector. Okay, so you can connect, well, my card reader to the adapter, and then I connect this to the iPad. This needs to connect to a power, actually you can see it here. If you connect it right away without a power cable here, the lightning power cable, you will get this error message stating, yeah, the device needs too much power. So you connect that and you're ready to import. On the Photos app, you will see that, it's better if I show you. Yeah, on the Photos app, you normally see 4 options here: Photos, Memories, Shared, and Albums. However, if you connect it successfully, you will see another option that says import. And when you, well, in essence, you're going to be able to choose which photographs do you want to transfer from your card to your iPad. And it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty much copying the files to your iPad. From there, I'm using Adobe's suite, mostly Lightroom actually. And there are two factors for this to work. The operating system on the EOS devices are now, well, the EOS 10 now recognizes RAW files, but also Lightroom Mobile is able to work with RAW files on iOS. So in essence, you're going to choose your collection. Let's say, what is the last collection that I got here? Comic-Con. I attended Comic-Con Chile a couple of weeks ago, and then you just add photos to it from your camera roll, and that's it. It's super simple. I'm going to create well, super simple, just like that. So your workflow is pretty similar to the one on a computer. And once you're in Lightroom Mobile, it does have its limitations, but you do have a lot of the same tools that you would see on the regular Lightroom. You can edit, adjust temperature, tint, exposure, things like that. You can even, sorry, it switched to the wrong place. You can even adjust the tone curves, the split toning, do the dehazing, do some sort of lens corrections, things like that. So it's pretty powerful by itself. But also you can see, you can also use Photoshop Fix or Photoshop Mix in order to do some particular or refined corrections. Sorry, I misplaced things around here, but I also get the Apple Pencil, and I must say it is amazing. It's great that using the Photoshop Fix or especially Photoshop Fix, you can seriously draw your corrections on your image, and it's awesome. So I strongly recommend that. Now you have your photographs on the iPad, but at some point you need to make backups. Well, in order to do that, I'm using this thing. This is the Leaf iBridge. I got the 32 gigabyte version. As you can see, it has one Lightning port and a USB port, or a USB drive. So you connect it to the computer, and it has its own app with which you can transfer photos to the bridge. You can select whatever you want to transfer, and then you can take this and transfer it somewhere else. In my particular case, I'm transferring to a MyCloud from Western Digital. The MyCloud, the latest version, I think, the 4 terabyte drive that I already had, which has a USB port. It's normally connected to a network, but it also has a USB port. And so I just connect this, and using actually an app on my iPad, I can transfer from this to the hard drive, and I made my first backup. I had, where I'm going to set up actually, a second MyCloud drive as a mirror, so it makes a backup of itself. And that way I'll have 3 copies of my images, one of the iPad and one on each MyCloud drive. And yeah, that's in essence how I solved quite a bit of, there's another thing that I need to mention. Yes, this is working for me. However, it does have its limitations. It's pretty slow. Lightroom tries to sync right away with your Creative Cloud account, and if your connection is not very fast, especially on the upload side, this may take forever. So I realized this may not be my workflow forever. At some point I'm going to get an actual computer, a laptop computer that I used to have. I'm seriously thinking of the MacBook Pro, the 13-inch, but with the memory upgrade to 16 gigabytes. And if that works for Locke, the guy from Digital Rev, who used to work at Digital Rev, he uses a similar setup in order to edit video. So if that computer is good to edit video, it will be good to edit photographs. And I actually chose an iPad Pro, considering that I'm going to use, when I have the MacBook Pro, I will use this app called Duet in order to use this as a second screen, or as a tablet, or drawing tablet, just like the Wacom tablet. So I will have added functionality in the future. So that is my current workflow. It's a mobile workflow that is actually working very well. It does have its limitation, as I mentioned, in terms of, well, the synchronization with the cloud. That's the main portion that I don't really like. But other than that, it's working great, and I can do amazing things with my images. I'm really happy about the results that I can but also, curiously enough, about the speed. Lightroom Mobile is, I think, faster than the desktop version, or at least the last time that I used it. So it's a really strange situation, but well, that's the way it works. And well, that is my current workflow. I really hope this helps some of you guys who may be considering a mobile workflow, maybe for a trip or as your regular operations. And if this helped you in any way, please subscribe, like the video, send a comment, and of course I will keep writing about this, so you can visit my website, imageweekly.com. And in the meantime, keep learning and keep shooting. See you.